Good morning, everyone. It's time to start or kick off our Midco advertising webinar, Benefits of Advertising on Live Sports. First, let's take care of some general housekeeping. Participants are all automatically muted. If you do have a technical issue, please submit it via the QA window on the right side of your screen. Use the drop-down to select the host rather than panelists. We will have a QA session at the end of our presentation. You can submit questions anytime during the presentation or at the end. Just be sure to use the QA window on your screen. Use the drop-down to send your questions directly to the panelists rather than the host. Also, this webinar is being recorded and we'll send out a link via email later this week. Finally, I'd like to say thanks to everyone who is joining us today from across the region. We look forward to discussing 1, how sports advertising can help you reach your customers, 2, how it can increase campaign effectiveness, and 3, what Midco Sports Network is, also known as Midco SN, and how it resonates with people in our local markets. But why are we here today? Really? I mean, why sports advertising? People watch sports. That's why. 80% of live sports fans subscribe to linear TV to get their sports fill. And we'll talk more about that later on, but that's why we're here today. We want to help you reach an active, engaged audience, and advertising during live sports can help you do just that. Before we dive deeper into that, I'd like to introduce myself and the other presenters that are here today. My name is Kim Turnus, and I've been an advertising sales consultant at Midco since 2007. I work directly with customers in the Bismarck area to develop and execute ad campaign strategies. I'm joined by Chance Roth, who's also an advertising sales consultant who joined our Sioux Falls office in 2016 and has customers in southeastern South Dakota. Also, I'm joined by Jason Dunham. Jason has been in sports marketing and management for more than 19 years. He recently joined Midco as our sports advertising sales strategist, bringing years of sports sponsorship and marketing experience. To understand more about sports advertising, it's important to have some background on Midco and other services we provide, so you can start to understand how it all works together. If you've heard of Midco, it's likely that you already associate us with internet and TV, which is correct. We do provide business and residential cable and internet solutions across 5 states in the Midwest. Along with cable and internet, we also have networking, voice, and data center solutions, plus wholesale options serving many levels of business. We firmly believe that when our local and regional businesses succeed, so does our community. It's where we live, which is why we're also looking for ways to give back to our communities and even welcome our business customers to partner with us to find new ways to give back. That's why we also donate production for public service announcements to qualifying 501c3s. So if you're a nonprofit who's ready to get your message out there, we have ways to help. When it comes to advertising solutions, we have 4 main areas of service, including cable TV advertising, which includes our sports advertising opportunities, digital display and pre-roll advertising, and new in 2019, connected TV. We also have a full team of award-winning video production specialists who partner with our advertising customers to create full video and display campaigns, including digital banners, pre-roll video, and commercials. I highly recommend checking out our team's awards and demos at midco.com/business/ad-creative so you can see what all we're capable of creating. Plus, while you're there, you may want to check out a few of our online resources to get to know Midco business better. You can start on our Insight Center, where you can download our recent white paper about integrating your cable TV advertising with your digital campaigns, along with several other case studies and blog posts all about advertising. The next piece of background information that I'm going to talk about today is about data, everyone's favorite topic. Data is fun, but it can also be misleading if you don't know where it's coming from. At Midco, we source all our data from reputable sources, and we have exclusive memberships with TiVo and other third parties to provide viewership data. Yes, that's right, TiVo, your favorite DVR device. But TiVo does more than simply record your favorite shows. In fact, partnerships with TiVo and others enable us to capture anonymous viewership information from our subscribers, which helps us to determine the networks and events that people watch. It's time for me to pass it over to Chance, who's ready to go into details about what I just briefly overviewed. Right, Chance?
My name is Chance Roth, and like Kim mentioned, I'm an advertising sales consultant at Midco. Kim and I get to really dig deep into digital, cable TV, and connected TV advertising solutions day in and day out. When it comes to live sports and advertising on live sports, you'll find that we really focus on cable TV. After all, cable TV subscription and viewership are very much alive and well, with 91% of cable TV viewers admitting that live sports are the main reason why they subscribe. But the television landscape is changing, and people have more control than ever, both over the content they're consuming and how they consume it. Consumer focus has largely shifted from the time slot to the content, as they're able to access whatever they want, whenever they want. Live sports, however, are immune to this trend. Sports are the ultimate reality TV, unfolding in real time. People like to experience live games with others. They gather in person at bars, in person at friends' houses, or in their own homes, which is actually where 40% watch, according to Nielsen. And they gather online to discuss the game and compete in games of their own, like fantasy sports. Next discussion point. Most live sports are found on cable networks. Cable networks consistently provide live coverage of the best live games. Midco partners with some of the major networks out there, meaning we get content directly from the Big Ten Network, Fox Sports, the NFL Network, and ESPN. From baseball to golf to football and every sport in between, these networks provide up-close coverage that you can't get anywhere else. For example, last year ESPN presented thousands of studio and event programs. Their live events include NFL's Monday Night Football, the MLB, the NBA, college football, including the college football playoff, men's and women's college basketball, tennis's Australian Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open, all start to finish, the Masters, the WNBA, Little League World Series, and more. I mean, the professional cornhole championships even on the list. The world of sports is never ending, and the people love it. With live sports advertising, your opportunities are endless. Timeliness is essential in the live sports experience, and it's about advertisers who want to reach customers at a specific time. After all, people want to discuss and interact in real time. Nobody wants to be the person avoiding social media and group chats with friends because they're watching the game on a 30-second delay, thanks to an unreliable viewing experience. This ability to interact has created a viewing experience entirely. Consumers are no longer just watching one screen. They have their phone, laptop, and tablet all within arm's reach. They can check game statistics, read live in-game analysis, and interact with others watching the same game, which is where digital advertising really comes into play. The average internet user in the US now owns more than connected devices on average, with this number growing to 13 plus by 2022. To give some perspective, globally the average is 2 devices, but US consumers are just a little bit more connected than most, as it turns out. This is clearly impacting media consumption habits. TV remains the go-to destination for keeping up with sports entertainment, but if you count desktops, laptops, and tablets as well, over 91% of internet users are expected to use a second screen while watching TV this year. Advertisers naturally worry about the effects this distracted multitasking has on their campaigns, since there are more opportunities for competitors to steal consumers' attention. What's interesting to note about sports viewers, though, is that a second screen actually enhances and you can coexist rather than compete for attention during the viewing experience. The rise of second screens does not pose a threat to first screen media. It's an opportunity to pioneer complementary content and campaigns. National brands see the benefits of associating with live sports in the US, with sponsorship engagement up slightly year over year. 85% of NBA fans are likely to consider a brand that sponsors a sport, and 76% say they are loyal to brands that sponsor a sport they follow. 61% of NBA fans say they have engaged with the sponsor while watching a game. That engagement includes buying the brand, checking out the company's website, and following the brand media while using that second screen. Midco has access to these NBA fans. So we know live sports are the golden ticket, but which one specifically can help your business? It's what we call the Big Six. Number 1, Monday Night Football. Last year, Monday Night Football had its strongest season in 2 years locally, with our market seeing a 10% increase compared to 2017. For the second straight year, Monday Night Football was the most watched series on cable in 2018 and made up 13 of the top 20 cable telecasts in that year. In our South Dakota and North Dakota markets, the Minnesota Vikings Seattle Seahawks game was the most watched game with more than 120,000 households tuning in. Number 2, Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football also saw a viewership lift nationally, with its expanded 11-game averaging 14.3 million viewers. In total, this season's Thursday night schedule's ratings improved 12% in 2018 from 2017. That number will be even higher this year with the addition of 2 games in London. Each of these games are played in the morning before the noon slate begins, so NFL viewers around the country are all focused on the same game. Thursday Night Football will also be airing a Week 16 triple header this year that will have major playoff implications. Next up in our Big Six is College Football Saturdays, combined with the College Football Bowl season. College Football Saturdays always bring friends and family together to watch the big game. This past season was no different. Here's the number. College football viewership totaled 1.1 million household views on ESPN level. Combine that with the 300,000 Midco SN college football viewers, and that equates to 1.4 million households watching college football. In 2014, the College Football Bowl format changed to include playoff games that ultimately lead to the prestigious national championship game, which airs exclusively on ESPN. The 6 games included the playoffs and the championship game, known as the New Year's Six, had close to 300,000 household views in 2018. Number 4, Major League Baseball. America's favorite pastime is still going strong after all these years, which is why the MLB coverage hits number 4 on our Big Six coverage list. Whether you're in Royals country or Twins territory, markets are tuning in. In the summer of 2018, Kansas City Royals programming made up 93% of the top 25 cable programs in the local market. Similarly, Twins programming made up 92% of the top 25 cable markets programs locally during that same time. Breaking that down a bit, what I'm really saying is of the top 25 programs that people watched last summer, more than 90% of it was popular baseball programming. All right, next up is number 5, college basketball. Basketball is all anyone can talk about in the month of March. Whether they're watching to see their favorite team, an exciting young player, or they just want to win the office bracket, everyone has a reason to watch March Madness. That was no different this year, as viewership from the opening weekend of the Elimination College Basketball Tournament reached its second highest rating in 29 years, according to Nielsen. In 2019, North Dakota State's University men's basketball team made a run at the coveted NCAA trophy, and Midco SN's social media team was right there covering all the action the people care about. And guess what? We have the stats to back it up too. During the Bison's men's run, we had 34 posts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Those posts were reached over 122,000 people. The people who saw the posts were highly engaged, and altogether the posts had an average engagement rate of 4.6%, which is double the typical social engagement rate. Last, we have the Midco Sports Network, our final piece of the winning pie, which in fact segues nicely into Jason.
Thanks for those great insights, Chance.
No problem, Jason.
I'm really excited to share, especially because this is the first time I get to formally talk through these exclusive survey results with the public. Now that we've covered the importance of live sports programming, I'd like to talk about our own Midco Sports Network. We launched Midco SN in 2010 to elevate local and regional sports, providing fans in our coverage region of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Kansas with content and live game broadcasts of their favorite hometown teams. Midco SN is and always will be a celebration of sports. Our viewers are fans of the game with deep and personal connections to the teams and universities that we broadcast and they love. Earlier this year, Midco conducted a customer survey to get perspective from our subscribers and viewers to make certain we were on the right track with our programming. Several questions were asked, and I'd like to highlight some of the data we received. Question: when you think of Midco Sports Network, what are some of the first things that come to mind? The largest response was local, regional. Here's one quote we received from our comment option. Local games from Minnesota, North and South Dakota, diverse sports programming not found anywhere else. We'll talk more about exclusive content a bit later, but as we look through the responses, local and regional sports and specifically college sports round out the results. As I mentioned before, we set out to create a network to be a celebration of local and regional sports, and the data gathered from this survey supports that decision. Another question posed to our subscribers asked their thoughts on the value Midco SN provides as part of their overall cable TV service. Nearly 72% responded favorably that Midco SN is indeed valuable to them. 46% enjoyed following local sports and athletes. And here's another quote from one of our survey respondents. I enjoy keeping up with Northern Sun Conference teams. Go Winona State. That's quite a personal connection with that one. Moving on, 18% of our survey respondents casually watch the network, while 11% are more diehard fans, pointing out that Midco SN provides content they cannot get anywhere else. Here's another quote, because they carry the games that no other stations carry. Again, another reference to exclusive content. Exclusive content is a great segue to discuss the value Midco SN offers our advertising and customer partners and partners each year. Our live broadcasts and original programming reach hundreds of hometowns in 4 states, entertaining thousands of fans every day. We've gone from a staff of 3 covering 5 events in 2010 to a staff of 30 plus covering more than 300 games per season. Since 2015, Midco SN live event productions have increased 84%, with overall viewership up 132%, totaling 1.7 million household views for the 2018-19 season. We've steadily become a regional leader in high school and college sports and have produced several award-winning programs. Our team is expanding too, now offering social media sponsorships and student athlete scholarships with which local businesses can sponsor. Additionally, we've seen a 24% increase in average household viewership per event for Midco SN live events from 2015 to 2019. The takeaway here is Midco SN provides businesses a direct link to exclusive, local, and regional content, and more importantly, the engaged audiences that are tuning in. Beyond traditional commercial advertising messages, Midco SN offers unique and customized sponsorship programs that places businesses' brands on display. Midco SN partners with universities and the communities we serve to deliver premier NCAA Division I competition, sponsors with unmatched exposure and direct connection to these nationally recognized programs and institutions. When we take a more detailed look into collegiate level sponsorships, 85% of college football fans say that they would consider a company's brand, products, or services for the first time when that company sponsors an event they follow. Consultants collaborate with our clients to create unique and customized sponsorship programs with all of our NCAA sports programming, as well as local sponsorship opportunities from high school sports to auto racing. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground and all kinds of numbers and percentages were tossed around, but what is it all business? OSN continues to be the go-to network for super fans in our coverage region, drawing fans in, keeping them personally vested in every team, and always coming back for more. A partnership with Midco SN can deliver a captive and motivated audience, one that wants to do business with your business. I'll turn things back over to Chance and Kim to share some case study information.
Thanks, Jason. You know, we can tell you all these amazing things about advertising during live sports, but you're probably wondering how it is helping businesses. Now, all of these businesses we'll mention today have full case studies available in Insight Center, so we encourage you to go check out the full-length versions, but we're going to give you the Cliff Notes version. First up, CU Mortgage Direct. CU Mortgage is a Sioux Falls-based company that provides mortgage loans to qualified customers throughout the Sioux Empire. With branches in Sioux Falls, Watertown, and Madison, South Dakota, their customer target market is spread throughout the southeastern part of the state. CU Mortgage has been advertising with Midco since 2013, and being in the housing market, thought they'd be best suited for HGTV or FX or other popular networks for young couples. While they did place on those networks, they also decided to try out live sports advertising and sponsorships on Midco SN. According to the full story online, they received a direct response following their first big push to sports viewers. Now, 6 years later, CU Mortgage is still sponsoring Midco SN programs and still seeing results.
Next up, let's talk about Interstate Battery's experience with Midco sports advertising. Interstate All Battery Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota carries tons of power options for cars, trucks, mobile devices, and more, with a commitment to providing exceptional customer service at the same time. Interstate's advertising changes with the season, since their audience needs different products during different times of the year. Together, Midco and the Interstate team work together to create a full schedule. But through sports advertising, they know that they're reaching a specific, local, and engaged audience. In fact, they've seen direct success reaching college basketball and professional golf fans, keeping the momentum moving all year round.
Last, Dunco Heating and Cooling in Lawrence, Kansas also takes advantage of Midco's sports advertising, but they do it in the form of a direct sponsorship. Dunco provides businesses with speedy and reliable HVAC installation and repairs. In addition to traditional cable TV advertising, they were looking to find a way to give back to their community at the same time. With a partnership with Midco SN, they've been able to do just that. Dunco Heating and Cooling is Midco SN Kansas exclusive Scholar Athlete of the Month program sponsor. They fund a monthly recognition program for local high school athletes and then gift one exceptional athlete with a $2,000 scholarship at the end of the year. Through this sponsorship, they've received incredibly positive feedback from everyone in town. Best kind of advertising.
Thanks, Chance. That wraps up our formal presentation for the morning, and now it's time to jump into some Q&A with the questions that you've submitted via the QA section. Let's get started with the first question. What if we don't already have a commercial ready to air? Chance, I'll send that one over to you.
Great question. So we have an excellent production team that's in fact won quite a few awards over these past few years, helping local businesses in a number of different ways, and they'll meet with you and tailor a commercial for you based on your needs and your wants. And we can do that for linear on the cable networks and Midco SN or a digital ad as well. So yeah, we have a great team that helps you with that.
Thanks, Chance. Question 2. What are the different levels of advertising available, and do I need to have a certain budget allocated? We have many different sports packages and sponsorships available for various budgets. We will work with you to develop a complete solution tailored to your needs and what your budget can afford. Well, it looks like there aren't any other questions submitted. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you have any other questions after today's session or want to know more about our digital advertising services, there are 2 ways to do that. Contact one of our ad sales managers and they'll get you paired with your local consultant, or fill out the request a consultation online at midco.com/consult. We really enjoyed having you here to learn more about our live sports advertising. You can learn more about our sports advertising options by visiting our website, midco.com/sportsads. And again, you'll find more useful advertising information and knowledge written by our consultants and company thought leaders by visiting midco.com/insight center. Just for joining us for the last 30 minutes or so today, you'll be entered to win a $200 gift card. If you've won, we'll contact you via email. Like I mentioned earlier, we have recorded this webinar so you can use it for an ongoing tool and resource. We'll send you an email with a link to the recording later this week. When you exit the webinar, please take a few moments to complete our brief survey, which will appear on screen. It will help us determine what topics to cover in the future. Thanks and have a great day.